In this video, I will take you behind the scenes of how I capture an experience of my life all by myself in just one day. You'll see how I plan my shoots with a story outline and a shot list, how I film cinematic shots of myself, what gear I use in different situations, how I connect with strangers to capture authentic moments, and most importantly, how I shape the story as it unfolds in real time. What you're about to see is actually a full lesson from Story Hero Academy. If you want to learn how to create videos people actually care about and bring an idea to life from start to finish, then click on the first link in the description. Now let's get into it. Welcome to the third behind the scenes lesson in which I'm going to show you how I capture a solo experience. While in the other two behind the scenes lessons, I captured other people, in this lesson I'm actually going to film myself. So if you're wondering what a solo experience actually is, it's when you have no other people that are going to help you film, but you just have to document your own experience in the most authentic way. This style of shooting is what I mostly use when creating my own YouTube videos, but it can also be helpful if you tell a documentary from a personal angle and you need to film yourself. As you might remember from lesson 6.8, when documenting a solo experience, you have to be both the storyteller and the character, and I want to give you a better insight into what's going through my head when I'm just evolving the story along the way. I hope to show you how I can consciously steer my story into the right direction while it is actually happening. So, when it comes to the video I'm going to shoot today, I actually set myself the challenge to survive for 24 hours without any money, so I won't be able to sleep in my apartment for tonight, and I just have to figure out a way to either earn enough money to get a hostel, or I just have to ask a stranger to sleep at their home. So I think there's a lot of conflict in the story. I'm curious what's going to happen. So without further ado, let's start with the gear overview. First up, I just want to provide you a quick overview of all of the gear that I'm going to use today. So, as always, I have the Sony a7S III. Right now I have the 24 to 70mm lens mounted on it, and that's probably going to be the lens that I use a lot when capturing cinematic shots, so especially for all of the intro shots and maybe also some shots outside when I'm just moving to different places, I'm going to use this one. Then, besides that, I also have two different vlogging lenses. So basically I have the 10 to 18mm f4 APS-C lens, so that gives me this ultra wide look that makes it very easy to also include other strangers and myself into the frame. And lastly, I also have the 20mm f1.8, so if it gets really dark and this one doesn't hold up anymore, I can still just capture vlogging shots in low light scenarios as well. When it comes to the audio, I actually have three different microphones with me. Here I have the Sony ECM B1M, so that is my go-to vlogging microphone. You can just mount it here on the cold shoe mount of the camera, and I don't have to worry about the leveling because it has auto leveling. So this is the one that I'm going to have on my camera most of the time. However, if it gets really windy, then this dead cat doesn't really hold up that well. So for this reason, I also have the Rode NTG with a really big dead cat. If there's a lot of winds, for example, on the beach, I still want people to just like properly hear what I'm talking about. And that's why I just put a high emphasis on audio when it comes to capturing these solo experiences. Lastly, I also have a third microphone with me, and that's basically just a lavalier mic, just a normal lavalier mic, and also an external recorder. Furthermore, I also have an action camera and a 360 camera with me, so that's the GoPro Hero 11 and also the GoPro Max. And those ones are going to be useful if I just want to capture unique angles of myself when I'm moving to different locations, but also when I'm interacting with other strangers. Because in general, it's very hard to always just film yourself like this when you're always talking to other people, and also for some people it's a bit weird. And for this reason, I actually got myself this GoPro chest mount, so I can basically just mount it onto my chest, put the GoPro on here, and then I can just film my own POV perspective while still being able to talk to other people. Lastly, I also have a small pocket light with me, so I have the Aperture ALMX, and honestly I just have it with me in case it gets too dark and there are no external light sources. Then I just have a light so people can see myself. Besides that, I just have like some basic other accessories in my backpack, and ND filters, just like a small dust blower, just like the basic other stuff, but this is like the main gear that I'm going to use.
However, I also have two different tripods with me. So the first one is the Gorilla tripod. That one is going to be useful if I just want to mount the camera and just hold it while vlogging myself. And then I also bring the big tripod with me, and that is going to be useful if I want to capture shots from higher angles. Okay, so this basically covers all of the gear that I'm going to take with me today. As you're going to see, I will mostly rely on just a few items of those, but I always just want to be safe that if there are certain situations, I just want to be able to tell the story in the best way possible. Now that you have an overview, let's talk about the preparation for this video. So when you're preparing for a solo experience, I believe it's really important to prepare something, but to not prepare too much. I feel like a lot of people fall into the trap that they really want to just outline every single part of their story, and in the end, they just realize that they can't predict everything that's going to happen if there are other people involved, and then they just freak out because they can't really tell the story that they anticipated to tell. For this reason, I think it's good to have an overview of the main events that are going to happen throughout your story, but still to just stay flexible so that you can, basically just intuitively adjust your story. As with every project, I also prepared something for this video, so let me just show you what I did in Notion. So as always, I went through the different stages of research, outline and script in order to really boil down the story that I want to tell, and this is what I ended up with. So as you can see, for the hook, context and setup stages, I created voiceovers for which I have to capture B-roll shots. And then for the progression and reflection stages, I just created bullet points with the different core messages that I want to include in my story. So here I basically just tried to outline the different events that might happen throughout the day in order to already have a direction for the story that I want to tell. So for the beginning part of my story, I have all of these voiceovers because I just felt like it's a more engaging way to enter the story. And for all of these voiceovers, I actually also created a shot list so that I know exactly what B-roll shots I have to capture. So if we just look at that shot list, you can see that I already created some drafts for an animation. So these are all of the graphs that you saw in the video where I basically just compare the relation between the happiness and the money I earned over the years. Then after that, we have like a couple of old shots from old projects. So me as a backpacker at age 18, me couch surfing with locals and so on. And I already just included in which project I can find all of these shots. And then here, all of the shots that say B-roll are the shots that I need to capture after talking about this. So that's what we're going to do first. We're just going to capture all of these B-roll shots that are going to be the visuals for the hook, context and setup stages. Then once we captured all of these shots, we're actually going to go to the second part of the video, which is the actual journey, which is the progression. And that's where I will just have to freestyle it and just keep it a lot more flexible. The first thing I want to do is to just explain what I need to survive. So I need water, food, and a place to sleep. I think that's already really good for people to know because then they just know what I'm working towards to and what my goal is for this story. Then afterwards, I want to trade items to get my first money. I want to buy some water or sodas and sell them to people. Then with that money, I want to buy something to eat. I might rent a bike and cycle to the beach. Then I want to buy or ask for some paper and a marker in a copy shop in order to create a sign. And from that point on, I would like to just offer a couple photo shoots where I'm going to do photo shoots with their own phone in order to make money so that I can hopefully get myself a hostel. I hope that I can pay for a place to sleep. If not, I have to find an alternative solution. And then lastly, for the reflection, I know that I want to do it tomorrow morning. Once I wake up and I actually managed to survive and sleep somewhere, I want to just like reflect on the initial question that I introduced in the beginning section. And I basically just want to share the takeaway of what I learned throughout this experience. So as I said, it's really good to have some bullet points and you know how your story is going to progress, but still just don't be too strict with those bullet points and keep it flexible because just authentic moments are going to be what really drives your story and just makes it much more emotional and spontaneous. So now you have a good overview of the preparation that went into this video, and now I actually just have to shoot it. Again, we have the two different parts. First, I am just going to use my iPad and go through the shot list in order to check off all the different B-roll shots that I need to capture. And once we're done with those, I'm actually going to start with the journey and the experiment. And this is where we go outside and I just have to freestyle it and see whatever happens. So let's get started by just checking off all of these different B-roll shots. Alright, so when it comes to the first shot, I need to capture me working on computer in dark apartment, bad mood. So this is basically a throwback to kind of like a couple of weeks ago. And for this reason, I actually need to wear a different outfit compared to the outfit that I'm going to wear later on for the actual experience. So I'm just going to put on like a dark hoodie in order to support that negative mood. I think one like this should be fine. So basically it says that I have to capture one wide shot and one close-up shot. And I was thinking about capturing those ones from the side. So basically I just want to show people that I just spent so much time inside my apartment in front of my computer while outside is just freaking sunny and I'm just in my dark cave here, which is unfortunately reality a lot of times. So in order to create the right light situation, I'm actually going to just close everything on this side so that we don't have that much fill coming from this side. And then I'm going to see which of the windows I'm going to open. So let's first just close these ones. Let's close this. So I want to capture a wide side shot from here. So let's just position it here and mount the camera on it. Okay, I think that it already looks nice with the reflection of the window in the monitor that I'm having so that people can actually see the monitor a little bit more. Just going to zoom in a little bit. So I'm definitely going to open the window a little bit more and I'm going to make the background a bit cleaner. I'll take this one out as well. And I'm going to open up the windows even more. Okay, so this already looks like a good composition, but now I obviously have to just sit down in order to see what it looks like with me. Usually I would obviously just use my flip screen, but in this case, I'm just going to turn this monitor around so that I can see myself. Okay, I'm definitely too far outside because I want to see my silhouette in front of the window. So I will probably just move the table a little bit to the front. We can also take the camera a little bit more towards this side. We can push this a bit more. And the camera a bit more to this side. Okay. I think that already looks good. Now, obviously, I'm like super dark. So I'm just going to see if I can adjust the settings a little bit here. So I'm just going to open the ND filter a little bit. So obviously the sky is going to be a little bit burned out, but I just want the focus to be on my silhouette. Okay, if I turn a little bit, I can get more of the reflection of the window here. Okay, I think that looks like a really nice minimalistic shot. Lastly, I'm also going to change the white balance to be a little bit cooler. Just bring that down a bit, maybe something like 4000 Kelvin, because obviously I just want to optimize everything to just create that dark mood of sitting inside. So cold color temperature, very dark lighting, only the silhouette, and that should really just create the right emotions. Cool, now I'm just going to adjust the spot focus to be at the right spot. And from here, I am just going to hit record and just record a shot of myself working here. Okay, so I'm actually thinking about the action I really want to do right now so that I can match it for the close-up shot that I'm going to capture next. I'm going to type on the keyboard, go like this, and then I go up like, just shaking my head, just kind of like overwhelmed inside my apartment. So let's do this action. Let's watch it back. If I'm in focus. Okay, I'm not in focus. So I'm actually just going to set a manual focus here to the monitor. So just put that in focus, switch to manual focus, and now in this way, it should just be spot on with me. Okay, let's record it again. Okay, I might want to hold that one down there a little bit longer so I can connect to the other one. I also might go a little bit wider to just have more options for cropping. So that should be it. As you see, sometimes it takes a couple of tries to really get it right. but especially those first shots are super important to just get the viewer into the right mood. So I just want to get those ones right. Yeah, that's perfect. Cool. All right, now I'm going to capture the close-up shot for this. So for this, I might go a tiny bit higher, definitely go into 70 millimeters. I'm just going to change back to autofocus. And then I'm only going to focus on my face. I might go a bit closer. And then we're going to see again how I position myself. So just turn that around again. Okay, turn it a little bit. Yeah, I want to go even closer, to be honest, to just have a bigger difference to the other shot. Yeah, like this, I think it's good. Again, I just need to set the focus here. So honestly, let me just quickly take that gimbal here as a stand-in, just put it where I'm going to sit, which is going to be here. Then I'm just going to change to manual focus and focus on the gimbal itself. So that's the distance where I'm going to sit. And once that's done, it should be all right. I'll just put that on the floor and then I can capture the shot. Perfect. Let's do it. Same action as before. This is how I need to end. Okay. Okay, so I think it's really good. One more shot that just came into my head that I didn't plan for before is just like me typing with my hands on the keyboard, because I think it's going to look really nice with the silhouette of the fingers. Also again with the backlight. So I'm just going to quickly capture that shot because that doesn't take a lot of time and it just gives me a little bit more options in the editing. Get that here to just line up with the keyboard. Let's already change the focus to it. Yep, that's a really nice shot. Okay, let's just set the focus to my left hand. All right, and let's do it. So we got all of the shots for this first little scene. Next up, I'm going to have a look at the shot list. So I can now just check off that first shot. And next up, it is me standing in front of the mirror, lifting my mouth to smile and then back to grumpy. So basically, I again want to just underline that I'm like in a deep depression and just like can't really get a smile onto my face. So we're just going to go to the bathroom, frame the shot and capture that one. So it definitely needs to be on my height. So I'm just going to extend the legs of the tripod here. Okay. In this case, I'm first just going to figure out the exposure. With the ND filter, I don't really need to use it here. So I'm just going to take that off. So here we have a little bit of my shoulder in the frame, but it definitely needs to be a bit higher and maybe even get closer only to my face. So I think the height of the camera needs to be a tiny bit lower and the angle a bit higher. So let's get that a bit down. Then we get this a bit more up and we zoom into something like, let's try 70 millimeters. The framing is all right. I'm just going to change the color temperature to be even colder. So it's something like this because we have very warm lights in here. Then when it comes to the focus mode, I'm just going to change it here to zone because it's just going to analyze my face. So that's not going to be any issue. Here we can actually see some more details and people might also see the lavalier mic that I'm wearing. So I'm just going to take that off when I'm recording the shot. All right, so let's get this started. Take this off. Okay. I'm just like capturing a couple of different versions when it comes to the action, so I can find one that perfectly fits to the part of the voiceover. Okay, so just capture a couple different versions. One of them is definitely going to work, so I don't really need to watch it back in this case. Okay, so again, we can just check off the next shot from the list. And the shot that follows is me thinking about the old days while sitting in front of my computer. Medium and close-up shot, 45-degree front, outfit for experience. So I purposely just write those small details into the comments of my shot list so that I don't just capture the wrong shots. So actually at this point, I need to take off the outfit from earlier because now we're basically switching back to the present day where I just like want to change something about my situation and I just get up and I start the self-experiment. So in this case, I'm going to take the hoodie off and I can also transform the environment in here a little bit to make it maybe a little bit more inviting than what it was like before. Yeah, let's take this lamp and put it to the other side so we have some more inviting light in the background and it looks more like an actual living room rather than a prison. So let's turn that on. I might just close those ones a little bit. Actually, let me first just frame the shot to see what I have in the backdrop. So now obviously I need to change the settings back to something similar we had before. I don't need an ND filter, but definitely need to increase the color temperature in my white balance. Something like 4500 looks good. Also, I like to just hold my hand somewhere in order to check out how the light is, because you can easily just look at how the light shapes your hand. So in this case, I don't really have any fill reaching me, so I want to get a little bit more light from this side. Again, I might just open up this one to get some natural light in here. A little bit more, but still not quite a lot. So I'm actually going to take this studio lamp and just position it here in the front so I get a little bit more fill light onto myself. So now if you look at my hand, you can see that it's getting a lot more detail, which is exactly what I want to have because I don't want to have that dark mood from earlier. Then let's just get the framing right. I like that framing already. Honestly, right now, I just want to get a better idea of what is going to be said while people see that visual in the actual video. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the voiceover. At this point, I'm going to say I can't help but wonder why those days without any money were so much more fun than the last few months of my life. Was it the money, was it the freedom, or was it because I was traveling? I'm still not like in a happy mood, but I'm just kind of like thinking about the old days. So I don't want to have the exact same action from earlier, but maybe I'll just do something more like just leaning back and just thinking about it. Yeah, I think that's a good action. So I'm going to capture that kind of like medium shot, and then I'm going to do another close-up shot, probably a little bit more in here, and I'm just going to point it towards my face here. Then when it comes to focus, I'll just keep zone here, bring it a bit to the side because this is where I'm going to be. I'm just going to track my face. And then we can just hit records. So while I was doing this action, I realized that it makes a lot more sense to just rehearse a longer part of the action that is also going to be visible in the upcoming shots, because then I can just capture the same action that happens later already with all of these different angles, and that just gives me more freedom when it comes to the editing. The shots that follow are going to be me quickly closing the laptop and standing up to walk to the door, and then me quickly grabbing the backpack and so on. So basically I just have to look at shot 8 and 9, me thinking about the old days while sitting in front of the computer. Then I make the decision that I want to change something about my situation and leave. So I basically close the laptop and just go out of the frame. All right, cool. So again, I'm just going to hit record. All right, I think that should be it. Then next up, I'm going to set up the close-up shot. So let's just go to 70 millimeters, take this a bit higher. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that works. Okay, then we just record the same action as before. I like it, but I think it's even cooler if I just like pass in front of the camera to have a more natural connection to the next shot. So I'll just do that one more time. So we captured that shot as well. Then next up is me quickly closing laptop and standing up to walk to the door. That's why I already captured the actions for these other 2 shots before. I still have the option maybe to cut between those 2 shots, but now I'm actually going to capture another shot of me closing the laptop and walking out of the frame, because this is the one I actually intended to show. Still, I have the other shots before just as a second option. I'll lower the ISO again. In this case, I'll set the focus manually to the laptop. So right now, the front of the laptop is in focus. I'm wondering if my hand should be more in focus, because it's kind of like about me closing the laptop. Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's better to have my hand in focus, because it's going to be very quick and people are going to focus more on the hand. Okay, so again, I'll just put my gimbal on here, set the focus to the gimbal. I can also use the focus magnifier to adjust the focus in more detail, like that. Then let's see. My arm should be in focus now. Boom, and then boom, and I go out. Okay, yeah, that's going to work. So in this case, I also definitely want to have some audio of me closing the laptop, because I think it's really important to just like create that urgency. So let me just double check if it's correctly leveled here. Just show the leveling graphic, and yeah, that works. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, that works. Cool. Next shot is me quickly grabbing my backpack. So yeah, I'm just going to capture a shot of me grabbing my backpack from some area back there, probably just from like the sofa. I think that could just like be natural. So people obviously just saw me just like passing through the close-up shot. So I think it would be nice for them to just like see my whole body again, to just kind of get an idea of what is happening. Because if I'm only just working with close-up shots, then they're just kind of going to get lost in what I'm doing. So let me just see what it looks like from back here. Ooh, yeah, I like that shot. I think I will just place that chair just like as a background element. And then I'm just going to bring my backpack back here. So let's just place that here. Okay, so I feel like the pillow might be a bit distracting here, because I want the focus to be on the backpack, so I'll just put it into the background here. In this case, I will again just put the focus onto the backpack, because there's going to be quite a lot of movement. So just like that. Let's double check. Yeah, that's good. As you can see right now, my head is actually cut off, which I was not able to see before, so I just need to lift the angle so people can actually see me taking the backpack. I just have my key light standing around back here, and it takes me like 20 seconds to just get it here. So I'm just going to take it to get a little bit more light onto my back. Yeah, much better. Let's take the shot as well. As I have my camera already positioned this way, it's super easy for me to just like quickly zoom in a little bit and capture another close-up shot of just my hand picking the backpack, in case I want to have that sequence a little bit faster in the editing. So I'm just going to take that shot as well. Next shot is a wide shot and a close-up shot of me opening the door to go outside. Close-up of doorknob. So I'm just going to capture another shot connecting to the one before, basically not just facing this way, going to the door, plus also another close-up shot of me just opening the doorknob. So I have 2 options again, and then we're going to capture other shots in the staircase going down. I have almost no lights, and honestly, I don't really think that it looks that cinematic. If I just put this one on, I have very, very poor light here. So honestly, I don't really think that the wide shot is going to look very nice. I think instead I'm just going to capture another close-up shot of me just opening the door. And then I'm just going to capture another shot from outside where people see me already exiting the door. I think we don't need the wide shot here, but I'll just switch it to outside following after the close-up shot. So this is something that you're going to learn over time, to always just keep the edits in your mind. It doesn't work like this right from the start, because you don't know what an edit is going to look like if you didn't edit a lot of videos. But if you did, And you always keep the edit in mind, then you can also make decisions during the shoot because you know exactly what shots you need and what shots you might not need. So again, we always stayed with the camera on this side while I was always on that side, so it wouldn't really make sense to shoot from this side and suddenly I'm on the other side, because then we would disregard the 180-degree rule and it will be a bit weird when it comes to screen direction. So I'm definitely going to stay on this side, facing this way. So I just get the framing right, zoom in a bit, just get the doorknob, and then I'm just going to boost the ISO in this case. The focus actually stays on the doorknob. This is only going to be a very short clip that I'm going to capture because I need to shoot from this side and I can't open the door that much. So I will just capture the shot like this, boom, and just going like that. And that's where I already cut to the next shot. And I'm just going to do it with a lot of intensity because I just want to get out, I want to change something, and I just want to show that in the action as well. Okay, I think that's the best I can do here. Then we're now going to switch to outside in order to capture that wide shot that connects to this one. So I think we need some wider focal lengths here. So I'm actually going to switch to the 16 to 35 millimeter lens on here. Okay, so let's see where I can position my camera here in order to film myself just coming out of the door. When just seeing this, I always try to create more depth in my image and I want to take a foreground into it. So I'm just going to try to include that rail guard into the shot as well. As you see, now we just have different heights. So this leg definitely needs to be longer than the other ones. So I'll just put those ones in. For this one, I think that I will just have a face focus in order to follow me. I'm just going to see what it looks like with me in the shot. Yeah, I think that works. Boom, closing the door and going down here. I will try to smash the door a little bit to again make it a bit more intense. It's very hard to smash this door at the right intensity without just everybody noticing here. I'll give my best. That's exactly what I was mentioning. But I think we got the shot. Okay, so we also checked off this shot. Now the last shot I have to capture inside the house here is just me walking down the stairway. We have this really cool stairway with all of these rail guards and just this kind of cycle that is going down. I think it looks really cool. And I want to capture a very wide shot where we can just see me walking down there. So I'm just going to position my tripod here and we're going to see how I can make it work. I basically want to get the camera as much out as possible without risking it. So I'm just going to make sure that everything is completely attached here, that all of these are completely tightened. And then I'm just going to position it like this. Yeah, just like that. Oh, there you see, it's actually not holding that well. I might just put it up here. Yeah, here it's locked. That's much better. So as I said, we need to actually bring it even further back to get that top-down perspective. And that means we just need to kind of lean it against the rail guard and somehow make sure that this leg still reaches the floor. So I'm actually just going to lower the height of these legs a little bit, like that. And then I just need to find some sort of weight where this one can lean on, so that it stays on the ground. So let's just take this heavy backpack, hit the backpack here, and in this way, it should be safe. Yeah, I actually think that it's nicer if I have the middle part of down here in the middle of the frame as well, because I think that I'm going to show an overlay of the money just counting down. So that's also something you always have to keep in mind. Always think about any text or visuals that you want to basically just merge with your B-roll, because you might need to adjust your composition to match them. Let's go for the shot like this. I'm just going to set the manual focus to where it is right now. That's locked. And then I'm just going to walk down there and just walk probably all the way down. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I just speed it up in the editing and that could be cool. I'm just going to walk all the way down. Camera is recording. Definitely getting my morning workouts in. Yeah, cool. I think we got the last shot inside the house. We're now going to go outside to capture another shot there. Okay, so I'm now outside in front of my apartment, and in this case I actually just look at my shot list on my phone because the iPad is just kind of like bulky to take around with me. So the next shot is basically me stepping outside the main door, which is here, and looking around as if the journey just started. So I basically just want to have this final shot of the sequence where I'm just like going out and I'm just looking around. Okay, let's do this. So I'm just going to position my camera on the other side of the street here, and I'm just going to go on a higher focal length, point it this way, set the focus, and then I'm just going to go outside here. All right, let's do it. So obviously as we're shooting outside, I also have to adjust the white balance a little bit. So I'm just going to make it a bit warmer. Something like 5,000 should work fine. Put it like this, and I think that should work out nicely. Honestly, I really like it when there's like a car passing through, and then afterwards I'm just like opening the door and looking outside. I think that would make it even cooler because it just shows that I'm leaving my house and I'm just like outside in the world that I've been avoiding for those last few months, which is the story that I told in my intro. So I think it would be really cool to maybe even just peek outside the door, wait for a car to come, and then right when it's passing, I actually open the door completely and look outside. Let's try that. Okay, recording. Okay, I can already see that a car is coming, so maybe we just get it right on the first one, but I have to be quick. Okay, let's try it. Okay, let's see what that one looked like. I think the timing was good. I think it was good. There are other people, cars coming as well, and I'm going outside, looking around, and then just leaving. Honestly, I think it's perfect. We'll take it, we'll take it. Okay, so that basically covered all of the B-roll shots I need for the hook and the context stage, but now for the setup stage, I also just explained the rules and I want to have some visuals to, basically just show people what the rules are. So the first one is going to be me revealing that my pockets are empty to show that I have no money at the beginning. So I'm just going to go into the park here, and then we're going to figure out how I can do it. We don't need to think too much about the location because I'm going to be on a very high focal length and quite close. So let's just go for this one here, zoom in to 70 millimeters, and then I just have to turn it around and I will see if this works out. So this is my pocket height. Okay, so that could work. But I just feel like I'm going to get a bit more detail onto my pocket if I actually turn around and get the sunlight from there. So let's see what it looks like here. Yeah, I think it's good. I'll switch it back to autofocus. Okay, I think that should work. So for the next shot, I want to visualize that I only have 24 hours to complete this challenge. So I just want to take a close-up shot of my watch coming into the focus. So I'm just going to bring the camera a bit higher, look for a background where my hand is a bit separated, so maybe just like a darker background. And then I just set a manual focus and I do this shot. So I think that this tree actually serves well as a dark background. It gives me also some depth. Let's just see what that looks like. If I go a bit further out. Yeah, I think that works just fine. I just need to see that there's like not as much reflection. It's going to be easier if I just have like some black surfaces behind me because then I don't have the reflection in there. So we might just use that big tree as the black background behind me. I'll just make it a bit brighter here with the ND filter, and we'll just lock the focus here and we can record. I think that one worked. I'll just do a couple more. Too high. Yeah, that works. Okay, so for the last two shots, I actually need the help of a stranger because I can't film them only by myself. I want to show two hands exchanging objects and also two hands exchanging money. So I actually just brought two objects with me that I'm going to use, and then I'm just going to ask a stranger around here to basically just help me for this one shot. So with me, I took a chocolate and a perfume. Seems like a fair trade. So I'm just going to look for a person that can hold one of them and just like exchange it with me. Let's see if that works. First up, I'm just going to set everything up so that it's easy to do it. Okay, this works. I'll just switch to autofocus and then we have to change it once we're there. Honestly, let's just try it with this guy in the green shirt there. Hola. Hi. Do you speak English? Little bit. Poquito. Can you help me for like just one shot? Yeah? Sure. Take your time. I'm just going to set up the shot already. So we just point in this direction. I'm going to turn the monitor around so I can check it. We'll just switch it to autofocus. Yeah, like that. And then we're just going to trade it like this. Yeah, I think it's gonna work fine. Perfect. Then we just wait for the other guy to finish his food and then we can capture it. So basically, you have it like this. Now you go like outside. Further, further. Yeah. And then we just go like this and we change it. Like this. You come in, go. And then we go like, okay? Super easy. Let's just set the focus. Okay. I set it to manual focus and we capture the shot. Okay, you first go out like this. Okay. And okay. Okay. Está bien. Let's see it. Let me see again. Yeah, that was a bit too high. Okay. Otra vez. Esta. Y es posible acá. Esta. Ok. Y vamos. Ok. Sí. Está bien. Perfecto. ¿Tienes dos minutos más? Sí. Ok. Perfecto. Gracias. So we're just going to capture the last shot as well because I also need the help of a stranger for that. So I am just going to take the money that I brought with me and he also just has to hand it to me. However, I'm going to switch up the shot a slight bit because in the editing I don't want to cut to the exact same framing right after each other. So I'm just going to set up the different shot now. Let's do it just like this way and maybe let's even change the angle a little bit so that we just have a bit variety. So you take this and give it to me, okay? Closer. Okay. Esta. Perfecto. Okay. Y vamos. Sí. Está bien. Perfecto. Muchas gracias, amigo. Buen día. Ciao. Perfect. That worked out pretty nicely. We are done with all of the B-roll shots for the intro. And now I actually just need to do the thing and go out and earn some money. So let's switch up the camera setup and then I'm just going to head out.
Opposed to the staged video in the documentary, it didn't make sense to create a film schedule for the solo experience video. But in order to provide you with a clear structure for the rest of this lesson, I decided to add chapters based on the events that happened throughout the shoot. So let's begin with the first event of me trading objects with strangers.
Okay, so we're just standing on the street right now and I'm about to start with the self-experiment, and this is where I consciously just flip the switch in my head and I just realized that I'm both the storyteller and the character. From now on, I'm always going to be in front of the lens, and for this reason I also just need to realize that, because especially in the beginning after this long intro, I just want to have a lot of energy and I want the, just experiment to get started soon instead of like just slowly picking up in pace. I already just outlined all of the different bullet points when it comes to what I want to do. Probably everything is going to change. However, the beginning part is still the same. So it says here, explain what I need to survive: water, food, place to sleep. So people already know what we're working towards to. And then afterwards, I'm just going to try to make some first money by just picking a random object that I find somewhere. And I will just try to trade up and just document it with this camera, and we're going to see. So now I definitely need to get a little bit uncomfortable and just approach strangers. So just trying to get myself hyped up. Let's do it. Okay, so I think I'm first just going to capture one shot of just my feet walking here, panning up, and then I'm just going to cut to another shot where I actually just talk to the camera and explain everything while walking. All right, here we go. 24 hours, no money. Let's see if I can do this. So honestly, when I'm just thinking about what I want to do right now, I have to think about the basics. I need some water, I need some food. I didn't really have any lunch. And I also need a place to sleep. And I think that's going to be the biggest point, because in order to sleep somewhere, I basically have to earn some money. So I think the first thing I'm just going to do is to just find a random object with some sort of value and just try to trade myself up to bigger objects so that I can just make my first money. Let's see what I can find. Okay, so I think that this intro statement was already really good. Good energy, mentioned all of the things I needed to mention and also introduced what's going to happen next. So now it's okay to also switch back to maybe a couple of B-roll shots. Maybe I'm just like looking for different objects, picking up some stuff, and now I'm just going to document just in a very authentic way how I'm going to trade this up. What things are free, but somebody would be interested in trading with me? I kind of already struggle to find something. I'm not sure. Is anybody going to be interested in trading this leaf with me? I don't think so. Okay, so I think that I've found the object that I want to trade. I'm just going to pick like one flower over there. Just going to level myself up to something that maybe is worth a couple of euros. And then I'm going to see what I do with that. This is going to be the first object. Let's see what I can trade with this. So from my experience, a lot of people are uncomfortable if there's like a huge camera rig just following another person. And for that reason, the behind the scenes are actually not going to be completely close to me, but we're actually going to switch onto a telephoto lens here, and you're just going to hear me with the lavalier mic, because in this way, you're really going to see the authentic reactions that I get from other people by just being there by myself, because most people are just like a lot more chill and easygoing if they just see like a small camera compared to like two people with like huge cameras. Okay, so let's see what I can get. So when it comes to my camera settings, I usually shoot with a fixed ISO if I know that the light situation is just stable and it's basically only up to me. However, if I'm interacting with other people and everything is a bit more spontaneous, then I basically just switch to auto ISO because I just want the exposure to be clean and I don't want to mess around with my settings. So now I really want to focus on the action happening in front of the camera and the reactions of the other people rather than just like messing around with my camera. I don't want to worry about that at all. Okay, I'm just gonna approach these guys. Sorry guys, hello. Hi, I'm shooting a video where I just have to survive for like 24 hours without any money. And I need to trade, this is my first item. I need to trade something with you guys. Would you trade anything for that flower? I'm gonna take anything. Yeah, a lighter is good. Perfect. Thank you very much. Awesome, thank you guys. What I'm thinking about right now is I'm just going to trade all of these different objects, and maybe for the end in the reflection, I want to show to other people all the different items that I traded in the beginning. So whenever I have a new item, I'm just going to capture a quick POV shot, holding it in the camera. And then maybe at the end, we can just do some quick cuts and we see like all of the different objects after each other. So let's just do that for each item. Cool. Okay. I need to survive with no money for 24 hours. And I want to trade. Do you want to trade this for something? For something else? ¿Comprendo? No? Okay. Está bien, todo bien. Gracias. Okay. Speaking Spanish is going to be a challenge for sure. My Spanish is still so bad. I honestly, it's kind of embarrassing. Hello guys, do you speak English?
A little bit.
A little bit? Do you guys want to trade this? To trade, like for another object? Do you have anything you would want to trade for it?
Okay.
What's that?
It's a
hand gel. Yeah, I think that's a good trade.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, success.
So again, I'm just going to capture a POV shot of the new item. Perfect.
What's your name on YouTube?
It's Niklas Christl.
Okay. Okay.
I can type it in if you want with like an L. Yeah. So
Okay.
you can check if I found like a spot to sleep.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. All right. See you. Bye. Sorry. One question. Do you speak English? No? Okay. Sorry. One question. Do you speak English? No? Okay. Now definitely getting a lot of rejections in. But in these moments, you just have to keep yourself hyped. Just approach people with like a good energy, because that is just always going to convince people. Yeah, let's just keep going. Do you speak English? Yes. You do? I got you. Just one quick question. I'm trying to survive for like 24 hours without any money. Would you trade this hand gel for anything that you have?
No.
No?
I don't have anything to trade, no, sorry.
Nothing. All right, thanks guys.
As you see, keeping my energy high allowed me to capture this funny and authentic moment. I approached some more strangers and captured additional rejections until one family surprisingly offered me money for the hand gel.
Oh wow, okay, that was quick. Awesome, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Guys, you saved me, like this is going to get me a place to sleep tonight. Thank you guys, enjoy your stay, bye. Let's fucking go. We got €3 in the bank. Nice. What I'm thinking about is to actually just buy a pack of water and then to just kind of like flip it, to just sell it for a little bit more. Again, I'm just going to capture a shot of this because I think it's cool. So we do it like this. Nice. Okay, so now I actually have to look up where I can find a supermarket around here. And I also want the people in the video to see how I researched that. So I think I'm just going to find some place around here, put the tripod on the ground, and then I'm just going to take out my phone and actually record the screen of my phone, how I just like look on Google Maps, and then I'm just going to document how I go there. Let's just get this spot here, put the tripod down. So instead of just sitting on the ground right away, I'm just going to walk in. Not sure if I'm going to show me walking in, but still good to have. All right, so let's look for the cheapest supermarket around here. So right now I just start the recording on my phone. Boom, it's recording. Then I'm just going to clap so that I can sync it later on in the editing. And now I'm just going to go on Google Maps and research. So there's a Carrefour. I think that it's the cheapest one, to be honest. Carrefour Express. It's probably a small one, but they should have some water and they should be cheap. Let's go there. All right. What I just did there was to also just like finish my statement and then also walk out of the shot so that I have a nice transition now to all of the walking shots when I'm just filming some other B-roll shots along the way. So that's something you can always do. Obviously people know that you actually pick up your camera, but if they're just completely immersed into your story, then this is always a nice transition.
Now that I had traded up to my first money, I continued with the next event where I sold water bottles to strangers.
Okay, so I'm right now just on my way to the supermarket, and I think I'm just going to capture one B-roll shot just to have it as an option for the editing, but honestly I don't really need more B-roll shots right now because there's nothing I want to talk about in a voiceover, and I just want to keep the pace very high at the beginning so that the viewer already sees how I'm kind of like progressing, and then maybe later on we can have like these longer B-roll sections where it's like a little bit slower and there's actually something to talk about. So just remembering how I left from the other shot, I was walking away from the camera, so now I'm just going to position the tripod on the ground and I'll just pass by the camera once and then I can already switch to the supermarket. So I'll just position it right here on the ground. So when I shoot solo experiences and everything is like going a lot quicker, I always have two presets on my camera. One is with auto ISO and a zone focus mode. So that's basically the quick preset when I just need to take out my camera and capture something right away without taking care of any settings. And then I also have a second mode, which has a spot focus and also a fixed ISO. So that's the one I use when I want to just capture B-roll shots in between, where I don't want the ISO to change. So right now I'm just changing to that fixed mode, adjust it here, and then I'm just going to pass through the shot once. So I'm just going to come from back there. That should be enough. Just going to pass the camera. So I'm right now just here in front of the supermarket, and generally like shops and supermarkets, it's always really important to just stay low key because usually they don't want you to film in there without any permission. So that's why in this case, yeah, I will try to not just get too much attention towards me. I will just maybe capture like one or two short statements when I found the water, and then I just capture a couple of B-roll shots, and then on the cashier, I just see if they're cool with it of me just filming there. But in these moments, you just have to push through a little bit. So again, I switch now to the auto ISO, so I don't have to focus on the camera. Okay, found the supermarket. Okay, definitely going to change the white balance in here. Honestly, I'm also going to change it to an auto white balance. Okay. All right, let's see where the water is at. 73 cents, 60 cents, 31 cents. That's the one I'm gonna go for.
Once the shop owner recognized me filming, I proactively approached him and tried to play it low by saying it was for a personal video project.
Hola. Hola. Es solo un video personal por YouTube. ¿Está bien? 20 segundos es. Bueno. Okay, gracias amigo. Spanish skills are working out.
From here on, I only captured POV shots of me buying the water, and as the cashier also seemed pretty chill, I occasionally talked to the camera.
Esta y esta. Sí. Sí, por favor. Damn, I just realized that the bag also costs something. I hope I have enough money for this.
260.
260, perfecto. Muchas gracias. Buen día. Ciao. Okay, so as you could see, the shop owner spotted me quite quickly filming with the camera, and usually they don't like it. But once people spot you, just try to be extremely friendly and just try to be understanding. And also, yeah, basically just tell them that it's like a personal project, something small, and that it's not going to be a big deal, because that just takes the pressure off them as well. So he actually was cool with us, and I managed to speak a little bit of Spanish, so that's good. Okay, so I bought the water and got all the shots I need in there. I'm actually wondering right now if earlier I already said that I want to buy water in order to just resell it for a higher price. Now that I talk about it, yes, I said that I want to buy something that I can flip. I actually think I didn't really explain to people that I'm going to buy water, and I also didn't mention it properly in the supermarket. Obviously, I can always give it with the context of a voiceover, but I'm just going to capture that extra statement. Not sure if I'm going to use it, but just to be safe. Okay, so I bought 8 bottles of water. I think this is the perfect opportunity for today because it is quite warm still here. I have the supply, I'm looking for the demand. Let's get these waters sold. As you see, I'm really trying to just keep the pace high in the beginning and just progress my story quickly so that there's always something happening with people. In this case, I'm actually now going to change my camera setup a little bit, also to just get some variety into the shots I capture. I don't always just want to go up to strangers and always film myself in there, because I think it's also cool to just see some different perspectives. And for that reason, I'm now actually going to create a POV setup with an action camera. So usually I always capture POV shots with a mouth mount, so you basically just put it in your mouth and then you can do whatever you want with both of your hands free. However, as you can imagine, you can't say anything if you have that thing in your mouth, and I need to interact with the strangers. That's what's really going to transport everything that happens right now. And for this reason, I actually picked up this chest mount a few days ago. So I'm just going to mount my GoPro on there, and then I'm just going to put it here on my chest. Okay, so currently the GoPro is completely overexposed. Obviously, I can go to auto ISO, and I will definitely do that. But I think we can still just mount an ND filter on here in order to just keep a little bit more motion blur and make it look more natural. So I'm just going to mount probably like an ND 16 or ND 8 on here. I'm just going to check it out. The light environment is pretty similar at the moment, especially on such a wide angle lens. I think that I'm actually just going to keep it just at like 1/50 with a fixed shutter speed so that I have the most natural motion blur. Besides that, I actually use the hyper view so we can get like my complete arms in there and we just have the widest angle possible. Yeah, let's do that. Just going to adjust the angle. It's kind of hard for me to see, honestly. I'm just going to do one test shot to really be sure, because I don't want to be capturing like really good reactions and in the end they're not visible properly. So I'm gonna go like this, just take the money, and then we're going to see. Let's watch it back with the same angle. Ooh, I like it. Super cool. That's gonna be so nice. With a setup like this, like you're going to get even better reactions most likely, because there's like no camera pointing in their face. You just have this like camera on your body. So it's just going to be a normal human interaction. Okay, so now we have the right setup to capture good visuals. And also GoPros are generally quite good in windy environments. However, it's always better to have a lavalier microphone because it's just going to give you cleaner audio. So in that case, I would also just use a lavalier microphone, and then I would actually plug it into an external recorder like this. And then I would just capture the whole thing, clap one time in the beginning to just sync it, and then I can easily have like clean audio also with this POV setup. In this case, I'm actually not going to do it because we're capturing all of the sound already for the BTS. So I will just use that audio, but this is generally how it would work. So as you see, capturing a solo experience like this doesn't mean that you need to constantly film and just capture shots all the time. In fact, I always think it's better to just prepare yourself well and then just like really capture the highlight moments, because in the end, you just want to use those high energy moments either way. Obviously, it doesn't always need to be positive. Definitely also capture the conflict, but just try to focus on the most intense moments rather than just capturing a lot of mediocre moments and then you just have to figure it out in the editing. Probably people are not even going to recognize that I wear this thing. All right. I'm just going to start this one. Then I'm just going to clap one time. And now I'm just going to go around and try to sell these waters as quickly as possible. All right, let's see. I have 6 waters, 2 more in the backpack. So if I sell them for like €2 each, should be 16 euros. Let's see. Hey, sorry, do you speak English? No, you don't? No? Oh, I need to look for people who don't have water. Hey, sorry, do you speak English?
Yes.
Do you want some water? No? I'm trying to survive for like 24 hours without any money. I'm just trying to make some money right now. I'm flipping waters. So I'm selling for like €2 per bottle.
I have here like 6 liters.
You have 6 liters of water, damn. Okay.
I'm sorry about it.
Do you want the water?
We need tequila.
Okay. It's the next business idea. Thanks, guys.
You're selling water, man. You have a GoPro. Why are you selling water, man?
'Cause I need-
Sell the GoPro.
Even though this guy was a bit rude and he just kept asking about my GoPro, I tried to keep up the positive energy and actually made my first sale.
€1? Yeah? Awesome. Thank you, guys. First
How
sale.
much for the GoPro?
The GoPro I'm not gonna sell. Thank you. Okay, we got the first sale. I'm gonna take one out already. I think it's much nicer to just see the bottle like this. Hey guys, do you want some water? Are you thirsty? No?
No, thank you.
No? Okay. Do you want to buy some water?
No.
No? Okay. Damn, sometimes it's hard to keep the energy high when people are just like rejecting you all the time. Now I definitely feel like I got a couple of rejections in and people saw that, but I also want to show my reaction to that as well and what I'm feeling right now. So I feel like it can be a little bit repetitive or monotonous to only see that perspective and me just like interacting with strangers. So I also want people to see how I'm feeling about it, you know, like what is going through my head right now. Okay, so honestly, it's going a lot harder than I expected. Not that many people want to buy water. So many people already have waters and also it is not as hot anymore, but I'm just gonna give my everything to find some people and to just keep the energy high. I think that's kind of the only factor that convinces people. So what I did there was basically just to share a little bit of the conflict that's happening in my head right now. That's what I'm always saying when you should share both the physical journey and also the emotional journey. Give people an insight into what you're feeling in a situation, because that's what people really want to know when it comes to good stories. Honestly, guys, when filming solo experiences like this, you just can't let the rejections of other people get to you, because I can feel it right now. There's like so many people looking at me all the time. Who's the guy with the camera? He's just like, I don't know, selling water. What is he doing? And it can be easy to just kind of like give up in the beginning when you're just shooting videos like this, especially if you don't have like a lot of subscribers on YouTube to show to people. But honestly, you just have to believe in your story and you just have to push through, because if you just push all the way through and people also see that conflict in your story, but you still stay motivated, that's where the good stories happen. So don't let it get to you if you get rejected when doing stuff like this. So I just need to check if the exposure of the GoPro is actually still all right, because it's getting quite bright here. Then I just go into the settings and change it to auto shutter. And that is just going to regulate the exposure by itself.
I realized that as soon as I started talking about the backstory of why I am selling the water, I made more and more sales. That's the power of storytelling. If you approach strangers, it's always a good idea to tell them about the reason behind your video, as this will help them connect on a deeper level, and many people want to help you on your journey. Here's a quick example of that.
Hi.
Hello.
Do you want some water? I'm selling them for like €2.
I'm alright. Thank
No?
you.
You're okay?
Cheers.
Okay. I'm trying to survive for 24 hours without any money. And I'm just trying to like trade up and get some money right now. So I'm just selling water. Do you guys want to buy water for like €2?
So what are you doing?
I started by trading a flower for a lighter, and then for the lighter to a hand gel, and then with the hand gel I made some money. I bought these and now I'm selling them.
Impressive.
€4, that is 2 waters. Perfect. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna pause the recording here. I think this was again like a really cool situation that I'm definitely going to show. And I just want to tell people that I'm now just going to look for groups because I can just sell more water to them in one go. So let's just take the camera out again for a sec. Honestly, this group was so friendly. They bought like 3 different waters. I made €6 with them. So from now on, I'm only going to look for groups of people. It's honestly just these small statements you need to get in order to connect all of the different shots together. So that's why I'm saying it's intuitive storytelling. You always need to think about what shots are actually going to land in the editing. There was a highlight moment with the group. Okay, I want to have a statement of myself. Boom, now we go to the next moment where I'm going to sell the other waters.
I managed to sell the remaining water bottles and also met some viewers who were willing to support me.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, thank you guys. All right, so I think we got a lot of nice shots. I'm just going to move to like a different spot because I've been at this location like all the time. And then I'm just going to capture a talking part where I let people know what's happening right now and what's the next goal. When I'm actually walking to the next location, I just want to capture an additional shot where we just have like a shot from the side, maybe just facing these stalls. And I'm just like walking from one way to the other. So I'm just quickly going to set up my tripod here and just capture one shot where I'm walking through. So I think I'm actually going to wait for some bikes or people to pass in the foreground because I think it always looks cool. So I'll just go over here and just wait. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's fine. So I just found this alleyway. Looks kind of nice, and I just wanted to get to like a spot where there's like less people. When I was just talking to so many people, there's just something that I also just realized about the whole emotional part of the story. As I mentioned in the intro, I just spend so much time inside just working on these big projects that sometimes I just forget to like talk to a lot of people, and I'm just isolated all the time by myself. So I actually just want to share that with the people. Actually, I feel like the tripod is going to make it a little bit less authentic. I think I should either put the gorilla tripod down, or I'm just going to hold the camera because it feels kind of staged to just like set it up like this and just talk to the camera. All right, so let's put this backpack down. So I still have 1 water left. I decided to just keep it for myself because I did not really drink that much today. And I'm actually also starting to get very hungry and drained. I was just like talking to so many people right now. Feel like I didn't really talk to that many people in like the last few weeks. It's kind of draining, but at the same time, I also found it just like very fulfilling to talk to some of these people because some people are just so kind. There was this one girl who was just like, she was so kind and just like energetic, and I was talking to her for like 3 minutes about her trip, why she's coming here and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. Feel like sometimes I need to go out a little bit more often and to just spontaneously interact with new people. Yeah. I think this was like a lot more authentic to film it this way because it's just kind of like sharing how you arrive. You sit down, put the tripod on there, and then you just talk to the camera. It makes the viewer feel like they're a part of your experience rather than just putting your tripod up here and then just kind of like, I don't know, it feels like you just rehearse what you're saying. To be honest, this was just what was going through my mind right now. So I hope that some people can relate to it, which obviously makes the story a lot more interesting. I have to see, maybe it's also too much and I'm going to cut some parts out, but I have at least kind of like a calmer part after all of this hectic part of just like selling water. This is also just really important when it comes to storytelling. Always try to alter the pace and just like vary the pace throughout your video. Before we had this view of the GoPro just like selling water all the time. It's going to be edited probably quite quickly. And then now we had this kind of like calmer part, which I think is also good for the viewer to just settle. Now we can go to the next goal, which is to just like find a bike, and we see how that goes. Okay, so I actually don't know where the next bike rental is, but I'm still just going to capture that where I'm looking for the next bike rental, because I think it's cool to just have that throughout the video. Whenever I'm like searching for a new place, people can just quickly see, okay, he looks on Google Maps and he goes to the place. Recording and recording. Boom! That was a clap with my mouth. Should be enough for sinking. Alrighty, let's see where the next bike rental is. Let's see, there's one very close here. It's just like just one block. Gonna check out this one. It has good ratings. Let's see, maybe I can bargain a little bit. So when I'm walking to different places, I always like to just capture the basic shots of me, just like my feet, or me just like walking one direction without looking in the camera, just to have some shots. There it is. I think I can actually take the ND filter off when going in there. Hello. Hello. Do you speak English? Yeah. Yeah? Okay, hi. I have a question. How much is it to rent a bike here? For like one day. Until tomorrow at like...
10 euros.
10 euros?
Yeah.
Would you rent it to me for like 8 euros? I bring it, like, I just get it from now and I bring it back tomorrow at like 9 a.m., okay? I'm just doing a challenge right now where I try to survive for like 24 hours without any money. So I have like 13 euros, but I still need to get something to eat. So if you can get it, like if you can give it to me for 8, that would be amazing. Yeah?
But you must pay one deposit of 50 euros per bike.
I don't have any deposit. Can I leave you like my ID card or something like that?
No.
Damn. I need money for the deposit. So I really need to find some nice bike shop owners who might be willing to give me their bike without a deposit. It would have been naive to expect that it works with the first one. But again, this is the stuff you have to capture. People want to see that it's not super easy and they want to see you struggle, but you just have to keep pushing through. So I'm just going to check out some different bike rentals around here. Okay, so this looks promising. Bicycle from 4 euros. This looks like the best deal so far, so let's hope that they don't need a deposit.
Unfortunately, this bike shop also needed a deposit, so I continued searching for other options in the area.
As I'm walking to the next one, I feel like I'm just like walking through all these streets right now and I'm just wondering like how I can visualize that. So I think I'm just going to take the Gorilla tripod, just put it here on my hips to just keep it locked to like my movement. So it's basically like a POV shot from the bottom to the top. And I'm just like going to look on my phone to find it. I think that could look cool. Okay, so I found the third bike shop. Just gonna get all of my energy together and I'm gonna try to get a bike now.
With this third bike shop, I got lucky as they didn't require a deposit. So I documented the complete interaction by switching between filming myself, showing the shop owner, capturing POV shots, and even positioning my camera on the table while filling out the paperwork. In situations like this, you have to quickly realize where you point your camera so you can capture all important moments and statements.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye. All right, so I got a bike for like 10 euros until tomorrow. So I will be able to just go anywhere I want to go right now. First up, I'm gonna get some food. And then afterwards, I think I'm gonna ride to the beach. Let's do it.
I hopped on the bike and rode to the next supermarket where I captured an additional statement about the successful bike rental. When I reached the store, I put the camera down and staged a shot of me arriving because I knew that I would need it to better connect to the previous scene. After that, I again switched to auto ISO and auto white balance so I wouldn't have to pay attention to my camera settings when entering the store. Unfortunately, this shop owner didn't want us to film with that many cameras, so my team had to wait outside. In situations like this, I still try to capture the shots I need to progress my story by keeping my camera on hip level as if it wasn't recording. Next, I headed to the close by park.
We just arrived in this park and we have these like beautiful trees. I'm actually super hungry and I just want to eat those sandwiches that I bought. So I'm just gonna set up the camera quickly, just go with the bike into the shot, eat my sandwich.
I again kept the Gorilla tripod and positioned my camera at a low angle as it felt more authentic than using the big tripods. I captured a shot of me arriving with the bike and eating my sandwich on the park bench, but at some point I also picked up the camera to give the viewer a closer insight into what I felt.
Oh my god. I've been so hungry and this food tastes so good right now. It's literally just a toast with some tuna, but man, this is good.
As I was really drained from the last few hours, I decided to take a short break and relax on the park bench while eating my sandwich. As I wanted the viewer to be a part of this lower point in the story, I still kept the camera running and captured some of my thoughts here and there.
I just ate those 2 sandwiches, also my water is finished, and
I'm gonna be honest, I'm straight up crashing right now. Don't have any energy. I'm really drained and tired from talking to so many people. I mean, it's nice and I enjoy it, but it's also draining, and just being hungry and thirsty all the time and worrying about the money, I don't know. I'm just missing my comfort.
Authentic and vulnerable statements like this are extremely important as they help the viewer relate to the character. I also recorded some 100 FPS clips that I could later use in the editing to slow down the pacing after the hectic events from before. After the short break, I made my way towards another park in order to capture B-roll shots of me riding on the bike.
Alright, so basically I'm now just going to mount some GoPros onto the bike in order to get a couple of POV shots. As you can see earlier, I'm actually a little bit drained right now. And I'm also like thinking a lot about the whole idea of going onto this journey. I believe that during this bike ride, I might get a couple of thoughts that could actually be interesting to share in the video. Plus, it's also super nice to just capture shots of me riding on the bike because there's just a lot of stuff happening. I'm just going to mount some GoPros on here, capture POV shots, and I'm also going to position my camera on the tripod and just pass by a couple of times in order to have, a little bit of B-roll for like a voiceover section in case I want to maybe already talk about some learning that I take away from this experience. I think one interesting shot could definitely also be the chest mount. I just really need to switch it up and I just need to capture a couple of different shots with different mounts so that I have a little bit of variety. So I'm going to start with the chest mount and then I'm going to mount it on the bike itself. In fact, I'm actually going to capture with 2 different cameras at the same time. So I'm also going to mount my 360 camera on the bike as well because I might as well use the time to capture 2 angles at the same time. I have a couple of different mounts with me as I'm not really going to ride that fast with this bike and I don't really have any impact. I can also just use this mount, which is kind of like a small clamp that you can basically mount anywhere. And that just makes it super easy to mount a GoPro in any direction, and you can also easily adjust it into all sorts of directions. So let's just figure out what angle looks good. Obviously this one is pointing to the front, so here we can maybe even mount it somewhere here. That could be interesting. So I'm just going to mount it here on the front wheel, so that's safe. And now I just need to adjust the camera. So as this is a 360 camera, everything kind of like below it is not going to be visible in the shot, and I can still adjust everything. So I'm just going to look for the stitching line, which is kind of like here in between both cameras. So I'm just going to mount it something like this, and then I can still decide which part I want to use in the editing. So let's go for a ride, just capture a couple of angles, and then later on I'm just going to remount the cameras and do it again. That's recording. That's recording. Let's go.
After I rode around the park for a few minutes, I had captured enough footage and stopped again in order to remount the cameras in different positions.
Okay, let's remount the cameras and capture some other angles as well. Let's stop them first. I'm going to just do 2 angles again at the same time. Something like this could be cool. So as I mentioned in the action camera lesson, it is also always super important to have the right accessories with you. So in this case, I actually have the bike handle mount with like the small rubber adjustment thing, and I'm just going to put it in here, and with that I should be able to mount it also like on very thin bars. I'm just going to tighten it back here. Here I'm actually going to mount some additional elements so that I can adjust the angle of the camera better. Just like that. Boom. And then you just need to make sure that you tighten all of the different elements so that everything is completely steady, but that looks good. Okay, so I don't want to waste this shot, so I can only kind of just mount it here on the back somewhere. Not sure if I'm going to use it, but I'm just going to mount it here and predominantly capture for this one. And again, it's okay because it's a 360 camera, so I can always adjust the rotation and the angle afterwards in the editing. Cool, let's do another session.
Again, I rode around different areas of the park until I had enough coverage. Then I stopped again and mounted the 360 camera on the front basket of the bike in order to also capture some shots where my face would be visible. After around 20 minutes of filming with my action camera and 360 camera, I had enough POV shots, so I changed back to my main camera.
Okay, so now I'm actually going to mount the 24 to 70 millimeter because now I'm going to capture a couple of cinematic shots of me just riding with the bike and passing the camera. Again, I'm just going to switch the diffusion filter and the variable ND filter onto the other lens. And then we're just going to put this camera onto the tripod and figure out what the nicest angles are around here. So one shot I always like to do when filming driving vehicles is to just film one shot into one direction and then another shot into the other direction, and then you can always just cut when the vehicle is passing by. So in this case, I would now frame a shot towards this direction and then afterwards the other direction. I think that also it looks really nice with like all of these different trees here and the path in the middle. So I'm just going to go a little bit further away and I'm going to go on the higher focal length, because if I go on a higher focal length, then a longer duration of the shot is going to be usable compared to just being on a wide shot, because I'm basically just making less distance in the image. So let me just show you what I mean. So you see right now I'm on 24 millimeters and it would happen quite quickly that I just pass by. But if I now just go into 70 millimeters, you're going to see that the composition also looks very interesting. But yeah, I'm just going to be a little bit bigger as the subject for a longer duration in the frame. So I'm just going to pass by here and then we do the same shot in the other direction, also with 70 millimeters as well. Let me see if the focus was on my face. It should have worked out. To be honest, the focus didn't really do such a great job. I'm now just going to switch to a wide focus mode, and I'm also going to change the autofocus speed to be a bit faster. I'm just going to do it one more time, but then it should do the trick.
As the face tracking focus really struggled in this situation, I set a manual focus to a fixed distance and captured an additional take to make sure I was sharp.
That one should be good. Now we're simply just going to turn the camera into the other direction right here. I think again I'm just going to make a locked focus right now, because it won't be able to just basically spot my face in that shot because my face is not visible. Something like this. And then I'm just going to capture that shot again and I drive this way. Okay, so I'm actually also going to take the one in this direction as well. So this is something I generally do when I just film myself walking from one spot to another one. I usually just capture both directions. So I drove one time this way and then the other time this way, because then I still just have the option and I have to get back either way. So we have two cool shots, but honestly, I don't think it's completely enough. I want to capture one more, which is just like completely from the side, more like a wide shot where they can just see me passing through. So I'm going to set it up one more time a little bit further back here. Okay, so again, I just manually set the focus here and I hit record, run back, drive through, and then we're done with these shots. So now we captured a lot of nice cinematic B-roll shots that should definitely make up for 20 seconds of like a voiceover section. However, I also want to capture some shots just with my camera while I'm riding, and there I can actually capture quite a variety of footage. And because I can just like film maybe like only the trees passing by, I can film some other people, I can film myself, I can film my feet paddling. So it's always quite easy to capture different shots if you're also just filming with your camera in one hand while riding with the other hand. I'm going to make my way to the beach, capture a couple of additional B-roll shots, and then once we're closer to the beach, we're going to try to make some more money. Let's go.
While riding, I pointed my camera towards different subjects and parts of the environment to have additional coverage for a voiceover section. I knew that in the voiceover I wanted to talk about being present and what it means to be grateful about the little things in life, so I also tried to capture that emotion in other people. On top of that, I filmed all shots in 100 FPS, as this communicated to the viewer that my perception of time slowed down and I was truly living in the moment. While filming these shots, I realized that the slower pacing of the last few events started to become exhausted, so I decided to introduce the next objective of my story, which was to offer photo shoots to strangers.
Okay, so I was riding through the park for quite a bit. It was actually really nice. because I got to see more of the city. But now I actually need to come up with a proper plan to find a place to sleep. I'm not feeling that hungry and I'm also not feeling that thirsty, but I still have no idea where I'm going to sleep, and I currently have like €1.50. So I need to make a lot of money in a short time. However, while riding, I actually had an idea and I think it's going to work. Let's do it. So back there in the park, I purposely just told the viewer that I have an idea on how to make a lot of money in a short time. So that basically just sparks a lot of tension for them, because they think about, okay, what is the idea? So now I'm just going to try to create a little bit of urgency by capturing very kind of like fast shots while riding the bike. And then I'm just not going to reveal the idea for a little bit, and I'm just going to capture what I'm doing so that people ask themselves more and more questions of what is he going to do with it. And then later when I'm at the beach, I'm actually going to reveal what it is.
I knew that for this section of the video, I wanted to create a very hectic and chaotic energy, so the viewer is confused about what idea I have in mind. So I captured hectic shots of me riding through the busy city environment until I reached the print shop where I wanted to create my sign.
I captured a couple of quick shots of me riding on the bike. Now I just want to capture like one shot where I arrive here and just like park the bike. And then I'm just going to go in and see if I can just buy a piece of paper. I'm going for kind of like extreme perspectives and shots right now. I wanted to feel a little bit different and just like spark the viewer's interest all the time with what's going to happen now. I'm going to set the focus and I just arrive here. Okay, I'm just gonna go in there and I'm gonna see if they can give me what I need.
I captured a POV shot of me parking the bike again, and then I headed into the shop while documenting my interaction with the shop owner.
Hola. Hi. How much is a piece of paper? Like a big piece of paper? You don't have it?
No, no. Eso, fotografía... ¿Eso qué es?
I'm just like shooting a video. Like I tried to survive for 24 hours without any money. And I'm trying to make a sign, like a sign to write something on it. ¿Es posible esta adres a €1.50?
¿Que está en YouTube o algo?
¿Perdón?
Está en YouTube.
Ah, sí, sí, sí. ¿Tú tienes esto? ¿Es posible?
Ah, claro.
¿Sí? Ok, perfecto. We're making it work. Sí, perfecto. Gracias. Okay, I got what I need. A piece of paper and a pen.
I purposely framed the shot to not include the full text of the sign in order to maintain the tension of what my idea is all about.
Perfecto. Muchas gracias, amigo. Adios. Ciao. Okay, I got what I need. Okay, let's go to the beach. My SD card is actually completely full now, so I was rushing it a little bit in there. But I think I got all of the shots that I needed. And now I'm just going to switch the SD card, ride to the beach and capture a couple of shots of me riding there. And then I'm just going to reveal me standing at the beach with this sign.
Along the ride to the beach, I again captured a variety of shots both with my main camera and with my action camera mounted at different angles. I purposely rode very fast and passed close by objects in order to increase the intensity and urgency of my shots as if the time was running against me. Also, I captured short statements to further raise the tension.
I really hope that this works. We arrived at the beach. It's time to reveal you my idea.
After raising the tension to its peak, I now had to reveal my idea. So I looked for the perfect spot on the boardwalk in order to show what I wrote on the sign.
I think it's actually cool to have like an extreme wide shot, to just have myself completely isolated, and then I'll just have one more close-up shot where the sign is also visible. So I'm just going to go a little bit further to the other side. I'm just gonna mount the camera on the tripod. So I think that definitely works well for the first shot. Just gonna set the focus. Now I actually want to say something when I'm there, like epic photo shoots. So I'm just going to, again, basically just record it with the lavalier mic. As I said before, I'm not going to do it because I already record my voice right now, but I would just record it with the external recorder and then sync it up afterwards. Okay, cool, let's do it. Epic photo shoots. Alrighty. Let's see if this works. It's so good. It's like literally like nobody else was just standing there, just me by myself. So I think it's the perfect moment. I'm now just going to pop the 24-70mm on there, capture a shot that is a little bit closer so people can read the sign. I'm actually going to do the whole same action, just so I have the ability to cut. Epic photo shoots. Okay, let me explain. Okay, yeah, I think it's cool. Okay, I'm going to switch to the wide angle lens, quickly going to explain what my idea is, and then I'm just gonna get started.
As you saw in the final video, this is where I explain my thoughts behind the idea of offering photo shoots. Finding a place to sleep was the final goal of my story, and to establish a clear objective, I also captured a screen recording where I look up the cheapest prices for a hostel. So now I had to document the experience in the most authentic and engaging way.
Okay, so for this activity, it's again very tricky to film yourself because I can't really hold my own camera in my hand, interact with another person, and then also take photos of them. So I really want to keep my hands free. It's also going to make it easier when it comes to approaching other people. So I'm just going to position that camera on the other side here on this bench so that this camera basically just films me from the front, like here. I'm just going to keep this one rolling. And then I'm also going to film with the chest mount again with my GoPro. I'm also recording with the lavalier into my external recorder. And then, yeah, I think in this way we're going to figure it out. So I'm recording with both cameras. And now we need to figure this out. All right, let's give this a try. I got a smile. That's pretty good. Wow, that's going to be so awkward.
While I was waiting for people to approach me, I made sure that I said all of my thoughts out loud so the viewers could get an insight into what was happening in my mind.
People are shaking their heads. I think they don't like my offer. Honestly, I feel like with 20 euros, I went quite high. I'm just getting smiles. I need money.
After a funny interaction with two guys and a few more rejections, the lovely couple from the video came up to me, and from here on everything started to flow.
Exactly.
You need to be quick.
Let's go.
Oh, wait. we are ending our relationship after 40 years. This is the final shoot. So
Okay.
better be good.
It's gonna be good. There is one catch to it though.
Oh, what is it?
So I basically need to survive for 24 hours
Yeah.
without any money.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing this, because I need to get a hotel for tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to use anything that I already own. So I can't use my camera, but I need to use your phone.
Here we are.
Perfect. I'm just going to quickly adjust your settings so that we get the best quality.
And these are your friends?
These are my friends. We're also recording a lesson on teaching other people how to create videos like this as well. So I create YouTube videos which are all about that. So I think over there it actually looks the nicest with the palm trees. So let's just head over there.
You're not allowed to use it.
I'm allowed to film myself. I'm not allowed to shoot photos. It's kind of complicated.
During the photo shoot, I always made sure to first position my main camera at the right angle, so I had a third-person view of what was happening. This couple was the best thing that could have happened to me, as they were extremely friendly, funny, and up for all sorts of jokes.
Now you basically just take off your clothes and we go in the water.
When managing multiple cameras like here, it is really important that you stay present in your character role, as this allows you to capture authentic moments and emotions.
I would love to see. That's quite
After the photo shoot, the couple invited me to join them at the restaurant, which I thought was the perfect event to round up my story. Even though I was busy editing the photos on their phone, I still made sure to capture the most important moments of what was happening.
I just edited all of the different photos and now it's time for the big reveal. Actually, the beers are just coming. They were so kind to just get me a beer and a burger. So the evening is kind of solved for now. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, damn, it's so good.
At some point, I actually put my cameras down in order to be present and further connect with the couple and their friends. After around 10 minutes of talking, I knew that I had to slowly wrap up this part of the story and communicate that I reached my goal of earning enough money for a place to sleep. So I captured shots of me showing them the finished photos, the guy handing me the money for the shoot, and me eating the burger. As it was getting pretty dark, I changed to a low light lens and captured some last shots before leaving the restaurant.
Thanks. Bye. Bye, guys. Thank you.
For the academy.
And again, I shared my thoughts on everything that happened.
This was such a nice experience. I was just overwhelmed. I was just filled with gratefulness. Nice. Okay, so to be honest, I couldn't have imagined it to go better than it did. I had this plan of doing the photo shoot, but I was not sure if it's actually going to work. Today, everything kind of went to plan. I also got the bike rental without any deposit. Now the photo shoot worked out and I actually have money to get a hostel. However, this is not how it goes all the time. And that's what I've been saying. I outlined all of these points to already have a direction in which I can go. But if something would have happened, I would have also adjusted to it. So when I basically left from the dinner with them, I captured an emotional statement where I was just saying how grateful I feel for what I've done and how incredible it was to just spend time with them and talk with them. And now I feel like it would actually be nice to just slow the pace down a little bit. That's why I just want to capture a couple of B-roll shots of me just walking towards the bike and then also some shots of me riding on the bike towards the hotel. I don't really think that I need to explain a lot when it comes to statements. I'm just going to capture nice B-roll shots and then in the voiceover I'm probably just going to say, after this experience I just made my way to the hostel and that's where we connect again. Okay, so I'm going to switch from the Gorilla tripod to the normal tripod. Put it on there. I'm still going to keep the 20mm f1.8. I'm just going to place it here. Just going to set the focus to be a bit closer and then I'm just going to pass through. I think I'm still just going to capture maybe like 1 or 2 standard POV shots, just like my legs walking and maybe just one of my face as well that I can connect to those if I want to. I just want to be safe when it comes to those parts because you never know how much you want to say in the voiceover and it's always better to have a little bit more B-roll compared to having too little B-roll. Okay, let's do one from this side as well. Okay, so definitely I have some shots that I can show of me walking. Now I'm just going to unlock the bike and also film that. Then I'm thinking about 2 to 3 just locked off shots from the tripod when I'm riding the bike, maybe even higher focal lengths, because I think it just looks more interesting and we also had quite a lot of wide focal lengths right now. I'm going to set up one shot here. I think we have a lot of depth coming from all of the street lanterns and the buildings in the back. I think this is perfect for capturing like a high focal length shot on something like 70mm. As you can see, the wind is like getting super strong. But as we're mainly just capturing B-roll, I'm not even worrying about audio at all. So let me just get the 24 to 70mm on here and set up the shot as well. So I don't really like all of the bright parts in the front. I think it doesn't really look that good. I think I'm going to position it back there where one of the street lanterns is turned off. Ooh, yeah, I like it a lot.
As I didn't want to rely on face autofocus, I again set a manual focus to a specific distance, similar to how I did it earlier in the park.
Yeah, I think that works. So now I'm just going to turn it the other way, like this.
On my way to the hostel, I captured a few more tripod and onboard shots to have enough coverage for a longer voiceover section. On top of that, I also captured a short statement where I say that I ride to the hostel in order to have a better transition to the next scene.
Okay, so I just arrived at the hostel. Now I'm just going to document how I walk in and how I'm going to pay for the bed, which is kind of like the end of the climax. I think we don't really have to push it much further because we already had this huge, intense high with the couple photo shoot, and I think it was the perfect ending to the day. So I don't really think it makes much more sense to build up any more tension. Just going to check in now, and then I might capture a couple of shots of me just getting to bed. Alrighty, let's do it.
I captured an establishing shot of me arriving at the hostel, and then I tried to document how I check in.
Hello.
The girl who was working in the hostel didn't want to be filmed and felt extremely uncomfortable with my camera. So I respected her privacy and simply put my camera onto the counter to at least have a B-roll shot of me paying for the room. As finding a place to sleep was the last objective of my story, I captured a few shots of me entering the room, as well as a statement where I say that I'm heading to sleep. And then on the next morning, it was time to capture the reflection of this whole experience.
So I had a mediocre sleep in that hostel, and now I just want to wrap up the end of the video as quickly as possible. Today there's nothing more really going to happen. I still have a little bit of money left, so I'm just going to capture one B-roll shot of me just coming out of the hostel, unlocking the bike and just riding away. And then on the bike, I'm just going to quickly talk about how it was in the hostel, and I'm going to say that I'm now just going to return the bike, get some breakfast, and then I'm just going to look for a spot where I can reflect on the experience I had. I'm just going to capture that first shot, and then I'm gonna hop onto the bike to capture another shot. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, test. So what I'm doing here right now is to just level the audio so that none of the audio is peaking and that it's also not too quiet. So, captured that shot. Now I'm just going to hop on the bike and just actually film myself while I'm talking. I feel like these shots always just look very dynamic because there's a lot of stuff passing by. I just want to make those last shots kind of like as engaging as possible so that the viewer is not bored towards the end. Especially on YouTube, I just want the end part to really like go down quickly and to end it quickly instead of just dragging it out without any reason. All right, good morning, guys. To be honest, the night in the hostel was something different, let's put it this way. I'm not used to sleeping in a room with 10 other people, but yeah, it was okay, it was okay. Right now, I'm just making my way to the bike rental in order to return this bike, and then I'm just gonna get some breakfast. Okay, so now that it actually became a little bit less windy, I'm going to switch this microphone with my other microphone, and the reason for that is because this one has kind of like a less directional polar pattern, so it's also going to take up sounds when I'm just filming in this direction and I'm talking. While with this one, it's not really picking up a lot of sounds if I'm just talking like this, but it only picks up sounds from the front. So I'm just gonna change it with this one so that I can better capture the conversation of how I'm just going to return the bike. Just gonna switch to auto ISO and also auto white balance in this case. Hello. Hi.
How was it?
Was good. I survived.
As you saw in the final video, with the last bit of money I had left, I bought some breakfast and made my way to the nearby park to shoot the reflection statement.
Okay, so I'm just going to film how I sit down. I'm just going to eat my breakfast and then I'm going to share the takeaway of the video. And then I think for the actual like outro of the video where I just say goodbye, I'm going to take the camera up again because I think it's just like more personal to just take it up again and just end the video there. Oh. Okay, so we now finished 24 hours without any money. I survived, and honestly, this experience has taught me quite a bit.
As I tried to come up with a takeaway right on the spot, I needed multiple attempts until I had a statement I was happy with.
Yeah, so honestly, I just feel humbled, and for the upcoming weeks, I just consciously want to remind myself more often to appreciate all of the small things that I just take for granted.
So, with that being said, I'm going to see you in the next video. Peace out. Bye-bye. Okay, so these were the last statements I captured for my video. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them because usually I prefer to just do a voiceover with the takeaway and just show a couple of the B-roll shots from the experience because usually they have a lot more emotions in them.
Thank you for sticking all the way through until the end. If you've been active on my channel for the past weeks, then you know that this was the last video of my 6-part series about visual storytelling. If you've missed any of those videos, feel free to check out the playlist in the description. After more than 3 years of waiting, the launch of my Storytelling and Filmmaking Academy is just around the corner. And to be honest, this almost makes me a little bit emotional. This is your last chance to join the waitlist for Story Hero Academy through the first link in the description in order to get valuable updates, free lessons, and exclusive downloads by email and be the first in line when we open the doors. If you're already signed up, then please just keep an eye on your inbox because next week we'll be sending out the most value-packed emails yet. For the launch, I'll be posting a short video followed by a live stream where I'll walk you through everything about the Academy, so make sure to also click on the second link and RSVP. Thank you so much for your incredible support so far. I am beyond excited to be launching this project, and I'm going to see you in the next video.